What's up, you guys? It's me, Sam Nova198 again, and today I'm going to be doing a video talking about the Sony State of Play that happened last week, and I'm also going to be doing two other videos that are going to be discussing Summer Game Fest that happened last Friday and the Xbox Showcase that happened on Sunday. So, yeah, I wanted to do this for a little bit. I tried doing it and it's like one big video and it didn't really work out, so I feel like 3 videos covering each showcase that happened in the last few days would be better. And first, I'm going to talk about the Sony State of Play, which is the first one that happened. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way. I haven't exactly been a big fan of Sony's State of Plays at all. I feel like they're always misguided. They don't know what to focus on. They just focus on a bunch of stuff we already know is coming out, but maybe releasing launch trailers, and I feel like they could do more with those State of Plays. And I always say that, like, if you're gonna do a State of Play, make sure you have some good stuff to show. Which I feel like a lot of people have been getting annoyed that Sony hasn't done like a big showcase in a couple of years. I mean, the last one they did was wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. But it was definitely a little underwhelming. So maybe that's why they're not doing it. I don't know. But anyways, they did have their State of Play. I'm gonna go through all the announcements of what I overall thought. I watched most of the State of Play. I should point that out. I did kind of like skim through it, but when it like was live, I kind of was just like, some of the stuff looks okay. But I'm gonna go through the stuff I saw, what I thought was interesting. So, one of the things they showed is Astrobot's getting new levels. Now, I love Astrobot. I think it's one of the best platformers ever. It was in my top 5 favorite games last year, but I feel like they could have just announced this on Twitter. That's just me. I'm not saying Astrobot is bad, but I feel like they could have did more. So. Next, they showed off Baby Steps. They announced this like 2 years ago, and I just don't think it looks that interesting to me. It's an interesting choice, but I don't know. It just doesn't really call for me. One big thing they did show off was the new Bloodstained Ritual of the Night sequel, which is going to be called Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement, which I'm really excited for. I love the first Bloodstained. I didn't even really like the Curse of the Moon games, but I loved Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It was great. It was a really solid Metroidvania. And I really hope the sequel gets the acknowledgement it deserves, because I feel like nobody really talked about it after it came out. So next they showed up was Kyren, which is a survival climber game. Or no, wait, it's Kyren. Kyren. I can't pronounce that for the life of me. They also showed off the new Digimon game, a Digimon Story Time Stranger, which I thought looked cool. I'm not really a Digimon fan, but I know a lot of people are. It's coming out October 3rd. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, which is releasing. I think they announced this at the Nintendo Direct. This is coming out on September 5th for PS5, and I think Nintendo Switch as well. I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. One of the biggest announcements they had, though, was a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, which this is a remake, or I guess a remaster of the 1997 game, and I know a lot of people love Final Fantasy Tactics, so there's definitely a lot of hype for it, and I'm like, hey, good for you. I might actually pick it up, because I've always wanted to try it. It's just never been easy to find. Now, this is one thing I don't understand. They announced Ghost of Yotai. They showed off a little bit of Ghost of Yotai, but they said there was no, like, gameplay shown off for Ghost of Yotai. Instead, what Sony's going to do is they're going to do a State of Play in July, kind of like what they did with Borderlands 4, where they announced it and they said, oh yeah, we're going to do a full State of Play in April. Get ready for it. And they're doing a Ghost of Yotai gameplay, I guess, demo, like, reveal in July, so I'm excited for that. I can't wait for Ghost of Yotai, but I'm like, I feel like you should have had this maybe a week or so after. I don't know, that's just me. Next thing they showed off was Hirogami, which is a 3D-inspired action platformer coming to PS5, which, that actually sounds pretty cool. I mean, I kind of want to see more unique IPs from PlayStation. Another thing that was shown off was, this is from IO Interactive. Now, IO Interactive's been working on this for a couple of years, and that is a James Bond game, which is 007 First Light. This is going to be a, I guess, prequel story, an origin of how James Bond became James Bond. This actually looked pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to this. It's coming out in 2026 for the PS5, and I think Series X, is it? Not quite sure. Another thing they showed off was Luminous Arise. I actually am curious to check this out because I do love puzzle games and I'm very much a fan of them. Now, the next thing they showed, this was actually really interesting because it's been a while since there's been a Marvel fighting game, and they announced Marvel Token Fighting Souls, which is by Arc System Works. Now, this is the same guys behind the Guilty Gear series and also the Dragon Ball FighterZ game, which is awesome, but I'm actually looking forward to this. Visually, I love the art style. It looks great. I like the whole, more, I guess, comic, manga, and anime-inspired look of the heroes. It looks really cool. They only showed Doctor Doom, Storm, and Ghost Rider, and Star-Lord, and Captain America, and Spider-Man, and a couple others. But I'm looking forward to that. They also showed off Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. And they also, and the next thing they did was, this actually interested me, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which is bringing multiple Mortal Kombat games into one, I guess, big, compilation game. You know how lately Konami's been doing, the Contra and Castlevania, collections, or the Metal Gear collection. But that looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Also, with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, I'm excited for it, but I'm kind of nervous they're going to screw it up. I mean, the Silent Hill 2 remake was great, don't get me wrong, but it's still Konami. They will find a way to mess something up if they can. That's just Konami. Next up, they showed off a new Ninja Gaiden game, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is from what I could tell, a side-scrolling entry to the series. The first one, I think, since the NES, so definitely pretty cool. It's coming out July 31st. It's weird. We're getting a new Ninja Gaiden game and a new Shinobi game this year, so Ninja fans were eating good. Another thing they showed off was Neo 3. I know a lot of people are hugely into the Neo series. I've played Neo 1. I thought it was pretty good, but I just couldn't get into it. Too hard. Next, they showed some PlayStation Plus stuff. They got some more games coming to the classics. They showed off a little bit of Pragmata, which that's been kind of elusive the last few years, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't really know what to describe it as, but it could be cool. Next up, they have a new fighting game joystick coming out for the PS5, the Project Define, which looks pretty cool. Now, this next game, Romeo is Dead, actually. This is by the same studio behind No More Heroes, so this I'm actually curious to check out because I played a couple of Suda 51 games last year. I played Shadows of the Damned and I just beat Lollipop Chainsaw Remastered. I need to play through the No More Heroes games, the rest of them. I beat the first one, never played the others. So then they showed off some other indie games like Sea of Remnants and Silent Hill F. This is an indie game, but they showed off Silent Hill F. It's coming out on September 25th. And I think it actually looks really interesting. I'm not exactly sold on it. I'm not going to pre-order it because it's Konami. I don't really trust them as a company because how shitty they've been the last few years. But hopefully it's good. Next thing they showed off was Sword of the Sea, which is a, I guess, mythic surfing adventure. So, interesting. It's coming out August 19th. And Thief is back, but it's a VR game, so take that as you will. I'm not really a VR fan. I haven't really found any interest in VR lately, so. Next up, they showed Tides of Tomorrow. And that's about it. So, and it says Tides of Tomorrow is a DigiArt. I think it's like an Oceanic or adventure. I'm losing my mind. Sorry. I guess it looks cool. I haven't really seen much about it, but that was the state of play. It was cool to see some stuff of the stuff that was shown off, but I'm not I wasn't losing my mind. Like I said, I kind of skimmed through the showcase, and I could say it was just alright, I feel like my thing is with Sony and their state of plays, there's a lot of stuff they show. Well, like, for example, Silent Hill F, that felt like, and so did Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. But I feel like there's a lot of things Sony isn't really saying much of right now. One game I will say that I've been curious about is what's going on with Wolverine. That game's been silent for 4 years since you first showed it off. Are they waiting to show off more of it? Because I feel like we need an update. What's going on with Wolverine? Is Sony planning to do a big showcase in the fall? It's weird, man. But I do hope so. And I will say this state of play, though, was an improvement over the February one. The February one, in my opinion, was awful. It was the most boring state of play I'd seen, and I really hope they do find a way to keep improving these state of plays, because I feel like Sony's been kind of just staggering with these, like, and just they're not really doing much with them, so we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.